Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good Friday. It's Friday. I'm all off because I've been on vacation this week, so it throws me off. But I'm hoping everybody had a great week. I know people look forward to Friday, especially the ones that don't work on the weekends. They enjoy, getting through today and then getting to what they got planned for the weekend. I'm just chilling. Beautiful day down here in Florida. Just wanted to come on and, like I said, this channel is just gonna be about a little bit of everything. It's gonna be a variety bag. You put your hand in, grab something, you don't know what you're gonna get, and that's how I kind of want to just do this channel. I started off with trucking videos, but I might show some exercise videos or my health journey, or maybe a day with the kids one day and the wife, and little by little. But today I just want to come on and just share my thoughts on just an everyday thing, something that I think we all go through. So taking my disappointments or things that could cause you to be disappointed and just getting through it, trying to change your mindset, and trying to overcome staying in a place of disappointment. And I'll give an example. I've been busting my butt for many companies, and the company I'm with now that I really enjoy, and this is no fault of theirs. This is just how business works. And if you're not willing to put the work in to try to do something for yourself, you're gonna have to deal with what comes along with being a company person or somebody. Even if you're a contractor, you still have to abide by certain rules, policies, and procedures by that establishment. And a lot of it, the biggest thing I think with a lot of people is pay. And ever since I've moved down here to Florida, I realized Florida in general just doesn't pay. I can't speak for every industry down here, but I can only speak for my experiences down here, and they're definitely low on the pay scale, high on livability. It's middle of November, and I know other parts of the country, they got snow, they got cold weather, they got I'm out here in a t-shirt and some shorts in November. So on some aspects I'm not going to complain, and then on some others, there's some that could use a lot of improvement. In the pay scale down here in the state of Florida is definitely one of those things. I hear from a lot of people, but mine is just we just had our reviews, we just got our raises. Grateful. Let me start off, I'm grateful for the raise that I got, but there was a little disappointment in thinking that I was going to get a little bit more. I came in, I might have to show you one day, I have to find it. I came in top of the leaderboard as drivers for our branch. We don't have a whole bunch of drivers. I think there's about 7 of us in collective, 7 or 8. But all my numbers, I came out top. I think the only thing I came in second was for gallons, but there's a guy's route that he does, one of our accounts, that no one's going to ever beat him. He does that account 4 days a week, and you're going to drop the most gallons. So I came in second with that, but most stops, stops per hour, along those things. I'll give a breakdown one day. I'll have to find my review sheet. But I came in, number 1 in most things, and this is not to toot my own horn or to be braggadocious. It's just, you go in the review, and they're like, oh, man, we appreciate you, which I do feel it's genuine. I do feel that my boss and the people that I work with are genuine, and the review was genuine, and it's not up to them. They go by what the breakdown is basically what the corporate and the company as whole makes as a profit for the year, and then what each individual branch makes, and that's how they decide how much you can give for raises and this and that. I did max out. It was a little bit short of $1 raise. But I was grateful at first, when I looked, and it got retrograde from October 1st. So when I looked and I was like, oh man, I did the calculations, I kind of was disappointed. Because you look back at all the hard work and the dedication and just the sacrifice that you make throughout the year, and when it comes down to review and you're expecting a better number. I knew I wasn't it wasn't going to be no $5 raise. Like, I wasn't thinking astronomical numbers that I was going to be getting, but I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that. And, I thought it was at least going to top $1. Because last year I did, and I wasn't even there a full year. I topped more than $1. I'm not gonna say exactly how much, but it was more, and I did less. I was still at the top of the leaderboard, but I didn't complete a full year. I had started in February of 2024, so this year I actually completed a full year when it comes to their fiscal, and it just fell short of that dollar. And if I wasn't the person that I've worked so hard to become, I could have took that a certain way. You start playing in your mind, and you could start jumping on job boards and start looking for something else, because you could easily be like, they don't care about me, they don't care about my well-being, this is all they're gonna give me, and this and that. But as I grow older and I'm a person that has responsibilities, I have a family, I can't think like that. And I'm just here to share this video. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of us that go through those things. And there could be two sides. There could be that, you bust your butt, you do all this, and the company just doesn't care. The immediate people that you report to, or that, you work alongside, maybe they don't. And that can be true. I've been in those instances. But for me, where I'm coming from right now, I know they do. But I understand that this is a corporation. This is, they feed off of the numbers. They feed off of, the bigger thing. It's not just your individual effort and your individual sacrifice. They're looking at, the business as a whole. And you're a small percentage to the bigger picture. And as much as that may sound, savage, or might not be great to hear, that's the honest fact. I'm a point something percentage of this giant company, and I had to realize that. I had to grow, I had to mature, I had to, because you feel like you're doing so much, but you're not getting what you feel in return. And I'm just here to encourage, work through those disappointments, work through those discouraging moments, work through those times where the easier thing to do is to quit, is to find something else, is to go jump ship, especially if you're happy. If you're happy at a place, if it works for where you're at currently in your situation. I'm sorry, I got my kids out here, so I'm kind of doing this video and watching them at the same time. So if you keep seeing me like pop up and down, that's what's going on. But this is just for those that can see themselves where they're at, moving up and getting as much out of where they're at currently. Do I think I'll be where I'm currently at for the next 30 years? I'm not gonna say yes or no. I don't know. But what I can say is, for right now, I'm gonna continue to give my best. I'm gonna continue to show up every day, do what I've been doing. I'm not gonna pull back because I didn't get what I felt like I deserved. I'm gonna continue, and it's not for them. This is not for next year now they're gonna give me. No, it's for me. It's for these kids that I'm looking at, that are watching me, that are looking at me as their dad, as a man, as a role model. And I'm trying to show them a person with integrity, with honor, with good morals, good character, and that when things you feel as though don't go your way, or don't align to the vision 100%, that you keep going. And I learned a long time ago, it's don't abandon the course, just pivot and adjust. I don't know what next year or even tomorrow brings, but if I continue down this course, I know that I'm setting myself up for success. But if I continue to have a mindset of when things just don't go my way, or I feel as though I got shortchanged in a situation, that I just abandon and I just quit, then I'll never get to anywhere, because I'll only make it so far. Say I make it a year here, and then I make it a year and a half somewhere else. That's small successes that are going to constantly lead to disappointments. And it's just going to show the people that are watching me, my kids, that when the going gets tough, that you can quit. Like if I just show them like, hey, I can quit and find something else, and that's the mentality and the structure that they're going to have for their life. So I just wanted to, you might be going through that, or you might experienced it, or eventually you will. And if you're trying to build something, if you're on the road, you have to learn how to get through the tough times. You have to learn how to withstand the storms, get through it, and get to the other side of it, and then figure out from there. You rather make a decision when the storm is away than try to make a decision when you're in the middle of the storm, because 9 times out of 10 we're going to make the wrong decision when chaos or discouragement or disappointment is around. We're feeding off of emotions and not off of logic, or some things I do believe take faith. It takes risk to get to where you're trying to go, but in your everyday life, it's not every day, and it's not going to be a faith task, or it's not going to be a risk task. It's going to be you just withstanding, and because it's building something in you. It's building character, it's building certain characteristics about yourself to make you stronger, to make you a better person. I mean, if you just don't care and you're just one of those people that just go through life like it is what it is, then maybe this video isn't for you. But for the ones that are really trying to get stronger, make a difference in their life, they're just a personal journey that eventually will affect those that are around them. So don't abandon your goals, your dreams. You might have to pivot sometimes, and you may have to adjust to certain circumstances that arise, seen and unseen. Some things we can plan for, some things we just have to adapt to when it hits our table. So I just wanted to come on quickly, make this video, encourage y'all, keep going, keep fighting the good fight. Don't give up on your dreams, on your goals. It don't matter what's going on in the world, what's going on in society, what's going on through everything that is kind of released to keep us down. You have the power within yourself to make that difference, to change that mindset. So I hope you have a great rest of the day. Fly family, fly life. First love yourself first, and that's what I'm doing every day. I'm continuing to first love myself, and once I'm done loving myself, I'm gonna continue to love myself first, so that I can love those that are around me. Continue to shed that love that through my perseverance and determination. Hopefully that will trickle down to somebody else, and they can do the same, and we just continue to pay it forward in that manner. Yeah, you have a good day. Y'all have a blessed one. Enjoy your weekend. Until next time. Sorry, these bugs are just starting to act up, so I think it's time for me to go. But y'all be blessed out there. All right, peace.